He is my dad and my mother is hospital.
I need you to understand how important this is.
The wedding hall was full of light. Soft music played. White flowers covered the walls. Guests smiled and whispered with joy. The groom stood near the stage. His suit was perfect, his face calm. Everyone believed this would be a happy ending. The bride walked toward him slowly. Her dress touched the floor. Cameras flashed, people held their breath. The priest raised his hand, the moment had come. Then bang. The big doors of the wedding hall flew open. The music stopped. Every head turned. An 11-year-old boy stood at the door. His clothes were messy, his face pale. Tears ran down his cheeks. In his arms was a newborn baby wrapped in a thin blue blanket. So small, so quiet, the boy's legs shook as he ran forward. Guests gasped. Some stood up, some covered their mouths. The boy cried out in a broken voice, "Dad! Mom is at the hospital." The words hit the room like thunder. The groom froze. His hands dropped to his sides. His heart started to race. The bride turned white. Her smile disappeared. She looked at the baby, then at the boy. Whispers filled the hall. "Who is that child? Is that his son? What is happening?" The boy reached the front. His arms were tired. He held the baby tighter, afraid to drop him. The groom slowly stepped forward, his eyes locked on the newborn. Something felt wrong. Something felt familiar. The baby moved slightly, made a soft sound. The groom whispered to himself, "That baby? He looks like me." The priest stepped back. The wedding stopped. No one knew what to say. The boy looked up at the groom. Tears filled his eyes again. He spoke softly, but every word was clear. "She told me to find you. She said you would help." The bride's hands trembled. Her family stood in shock. The guests forgot it was a wedding. Now, it felt like a tragedy at this powerful moment. The story pauses for a heartbeat. Narrator voice, channel intro. Placed before the center of the hook, welcome to Silent Family Tears. A place where hidden pain speaks, where family secrets come to light. If you love emotional family stories that touch the heart, please subscribe to our channel. And if this story makes you feel something, leave a comment below. And tell us which country you are watching from. The story continues. The groom finally spoke, his voice low and shaking. "Where is your mother?" The boy swallowed hard. "At the city hospital. She was sick for days. She gave birth last night." The room went silent. The groom looked at the baby again. His chest felt heavy. Memories he buried long ago tried to come back. The bride took a step forward. Her voice sharp. "What is he talking about?" The groom could not answer. "Not yet," the boy continued. "She said you left, but she never said you were bad. She said you were once kind." Those words cut deep. An old guest whispered, 11 years ago. She disappeared. The groom closed his eyes. Sweat formed on his forehead. The boy held the baby higher. His arms shaking now. "Please," he begged. "She needs you." The groom reached out. His hands touched the baby's blanket. The baby stopped crying, as if he felt safe. That moment changed everything. The bride stepped back. Her dream wedding broken in seconds. Her eyes filled with fear and anger. The groom turned toward the guests. Then back to the boy. He took a deep breath and said the words no one expected. "Take me to the hospital." Gasps filled the hall. The bride shouted, "What about the wedding?" The groom did not turn. His eyes stayed on the children. "There are moments," he said calmly, "when a man must face his past." He removed the ring from his finger. Placed it on the table. The boy followed him, still holding the baby. As they walked away, the groom asked one last question, his voice barely above a whisper. Is she still waiting for me?" The boy nodded. Yes. The doors closed behind them. The wedding hall stayed silent. No music, no smiles, only one thought echoed in every mind. What happened 11 years ago? And what truth was about to be revealed? Asterisk, the hospital hallway smelled of medicine and fear. White lights burned above. Machines beeped slowly. Every sound felt heavy. The groom walked fast. His heart beat hard in his chest. The 11-year-old boy walked beside him, still holding the newborn baby. The baby was quiet now, too quiet. The groom looked at the boy again, up close, the same eyes, the same nose. The same small scar near the eyebrow, he knew it in his heart. This was his son. They stopped in front of a hospital room. A nurse stepped out, her face serious. "You are the father?" she asked. The groom froze for a second, then nodded slowly. "Yes." The boy looked at him. For the first time, there was hope in his eyes. The nurse opened the door. Inside the room, a woman lay on the bed, her face pale, her body weak, dark circles under her eyes. She looked older than her years. Pain had changed her. The groom took one step forward. His breath caught. It was her. The woman he left 11 years ago. The woman he once promised forever. She opened her eyes slowly. Her lips trembled. Tears filled her eyes. "You came," she whispered. The groom could not speak. His throat burned. The boy walked closer to the bed. "Mom," he said softly. "I found him." The woman smiled weakly. Then her eyes moved to the baby. "He is safe?" she asked. The groom nodded. "Yes." She closed her eyes in relief. Memories rushed into his mind 11 years ago. He was young. He had nothing, only dreams. He loved her deeply. They married quietly. No big wedding, no rich guests. But then his family found him. They were powerful, wealthy, cold. They told him she was not good enough. They said she would destroy his future. They gave him a choice. Her, or everything. He was weak. He chose wrong. They sent her away. Pregnant, alone. He never searched. He never fought. Now she lay before him, broken because of his silence. The doctor entered the room. The mother lost a lot of blood. She needs rest. And the baby is still in danger. The groom felt the weight of every word. "I will stay," he said firmly. No matter what. The woman opened her eyes again. Tears fell down her face. "I never wanted your money," she said slowly. "I just wanted you to know your children." The groom knelt beside her bed. His voice shook. "I failed you." She looked at him. "No," she said softly. "You failed them." Those words hurt more than anger. Outside the room, the bride arrived. Her heels echoed in the hallway, her face full of confusion and fear. She saw the boy first, then the baby, then the woman on the bed. "This is her," she whispered. The truth hit her all at once. The groom stood up. "I will explain," he said. But the bride raised her hand, her voice calm but cold. "I see enough." She walked closer to the bed, looked at the woman. "You raised his children alone?" she said. Her eyes filled with tears. "I did not know." The woman turned her head slowly. "I never asked to return. I only asked him to save our baby." The bride looked at the groom, then at the boy. The boy stood still, protecting the baby with his small body. The bride felt something break inside her. Doctors rushed in suddenly. "The baby's condition is dropping. We need to act now." The groom stepped forward. "Do whatever you need." The boy grabbed his sleeve. "Please," he said quietly. "Don't leave us again." The groom bent down, looked him in the eyes. "I won't." Hours passed slowly. Every second felt heavy. The woman slept. Machines kept her alive. The groom sat between the children, holding the baby carefully, afraid to breathe. For the first time in 11 years, he felt like a father. The bride watched from a distance, silent, thinking. She finally understood. The wedding was never the real test. This was. The doctor returned with news. "The baby is stable, but the mother still needs time." Relief filled the room. The groom looked at the boy. "What is your name?" he asked. The boy answered, "My mom named me. She said you never knew." That truth hit hard. Night fell outside the hospital. City lights blinked. The groom looked out the window. He knew this was only the beginning. The past was awake now, and it would not be silent anymore. Asterisk. Morning light entered the hospital room slowly, soft and pale, like it was afraid to disturb the pain inside. The groom had not slept. He sat in the chair near the bed, his head lowered, his hands clasped together. The woman breathed quietly. Machines hummed beside her, each sound reminding him of how close he came to losing everything. The 11-year-old boy sat on the couch, curled around the newborn, protective, silent. He had learned silence early in life. The bride stood near the window, arms crossed, eyes tired. Her wedding dress replaced with simple clothes. She looked calm, but inside. A storm was growing. The doctor entered. "The mother is stable," he said, "but she needs rest. Stress can be dangerous." The groom nodded quickly. "I understand." The doctor looked at the bride. Then back at the groom. "This family needs peace," he added. Before walking out, silence returned. The bride finally spoke, her voice slow, controlled. "Why did I learn about your past this way?" The groom stood up slowly. "I was afraid," he admitted. "I thought it was gone." The bride turned toward him, her eyes sharp. "Children are never gone," she said. The boy looked up. He did not speak, but his eyes watched everything. The groom took a deep breath. 11 years ago, he began. "My family forced me to choose." He looked at the woman on the bed. "I chose wrong." The bride listened, her heart heavy. "You were ready to marry me," she said, "while your children were growing up without you." The groom lowered his head. Yes, those 2 letters carried shame. At that moment, the hospital door opened again. 3 well-dressed people entered, his parents and his older brother. Their faces were cold, controlled. Like nothing had changed, his mother spoke first. "This situation ends now," she said. "We will handle it quietly." The bride turned. "What do you mean, quietly?" The groom's father looked at the woman on the bed. Then at the children. "Money can fix mistakes," he said calmly. The boy hugged the baby tighter. Fear returned to his eyes. The groom stepped forward. "No," he said, his voice stronger than before. His family looked surprised. "You already took everything from her once," he continued. "You will not touch them again." His mother frowned. "You owe us your life." The groom shook his head. "I owed them my future." The bride watched him closely. For the first time, she saw a man standing tall. The woman on the bed moved slightly. She opened her eyes, weak but awake. She saw the family. Her face tightened. "You," she whispered. The groom's mother turned away. As if she did not hear, the woman spoke again. Her voice soft but clear. "I raised your grandchildren alone. I buried my pride. Kept your son alive." Her eyes filled with tears. "I will not disappear again." The room felt heavy. The groom's brother laughed quietly. "You should be grateful," he said. "You survived. That was enough." The bride stepped forward suddenly, her voice firm. "No," she said. "You don't speak here." Everyone looked at her. She continued. "I was ready to become part of this family, but now I see who you are." She looked at the groom, then at the woman, then at the children. "This is the truth," she said. "And truth matters." The groom's father grew angry. "You are making a mistake," the groom responded. "No, I already made one." He walked toward the boy, knelt down. "I should have been there," he said softly. "I cannot change the past, but I will not lose you again." The boy looked at him, searching his face. "Will you stay?" the boy asked. "Even when it's hard?" The groom nodded. Yes, the boy did not smile, but he relaxed a little. The bride took a deep breath. Tears formed in her eyes. She walked to the groom, placed the ring in his hand. "This does not belong to a lie," she said gently. "It belongs to healing." She stepped back. "I will leave," she added, not in anger, but in respect. The groom tried to speak, but she raised her hand. "Be a father first," she said. Then she walked out, her steps steady, her heart broken, but honest. The groom's family followed. Angry, ashamed, the room grew quiet again. The groom sat beside the bed, holding the woman's hand. "I am here," he said. She looked at him. Exhausted but calm. "Don't promise," she whispered. "Just stay," he nodded, outside. The boy rocked the baby slowly, for the first time. He felt a small sense of safety, but far away. The groom's family made plans. They were not finished yet, and the hardest battle was still coming. The hospital room felt different after everyone left. Quieter, heavier, like the truth had settled into the walls. The groom sat beside the bed, holding the woman's hand, afraid that if he let go, she might disappear again. The woman slept lightly, her breathing slow and weak. Machines watched over her, doing the job he failed to do for years. Near the window, the 11-year-old boy rocked the newborn gently, his movements careful, like someone much older than his age. He had learned responsibility early. The groom watched him. A deep pain filled his chest. That boy should have been playing, laughing, not protecting a baby in a hospital room. A nurse entered quietly, checked the monitors, then looked at the groom. "She needs rest," the nurse said softly, "but she also needs stability." The groom nodded. "I understand," the nurse hesitated, then added, "She has no insurance." Those words hit hard. The groom felt shame burn his face. He had wealth, power, but the woman who gave him children had nothing. "I'll handle it," he said quickly. The nurse gave a small nod and left. The boy looked up. "Does that mean Mom can stay?" he asked quietly. "Yes," the groom answered. "She will stay." The boy's shoulders relaxed slightly, but his eyes still carried fear. Hours passed. Day turned into afternoon. Then evening. The woman woke slowly. Pain crossed her face. "You're still here," she whispered. "Yes," the groom said. "I told you." She looked at the children. Her eyes filled with tears. "I was afraid," she said weakly, "that you would see them and walk away again." The groom shook his head. "I was afraid too, but fear already destroyed too much." She studied his face, looking for lies. She found none. Outside the room, footsteps approached again. The groom's brother returned, alone this time. He leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, a cold smile on his face. "Father sent me," he said. "This can still be solved." The groom stood up slowly. "We already talked," the brother shrugged. "A quiet payment, a new home for her, and you come back." The boy froze. His grip on the baby tightened. The woman closed her eyes. Pain filled her chest again. "No," the groom said firmly. The brother laughed softly. "You think love pays hospital bills?" The groom stepped closer, his voice calm but strong. "I will." The brother's smile faded. "You don't understand," he warned. "If you stay, you lose everything." The groom did not look away. "Then I lose it." The brother stared at him, then turned and left, anger clear on his face. The door closed. The boy's voice shook. "They will try again." "Yes," the groom answered. "But I won't leave." Night came slowly. Rain tapped against the window. The woman reached for his hand again. "You don't have to destroy your life for us," she said. He squeezed her hand gently. "My life started when you walked back into it." Tears rolled down her face. Silent, heavy. Later that night, doctors rushed in again. "Her blood pressure is dropping. We need consent." The groom signed the papers without hesitation. The boy stood frozen. Fear returned full force. "Will she die?" he whispered. The groom knelt in front of him, held his shoulders. "Listen to me," he said slowly. "I failed once. I will not fail again." The boy nodded, holding on to every word. Hours passed like years. Finally, the doctor came out. "She made it through," he said. Relief crashed over them. The groom sat down, his legs weak. The boy hugged the baby closer. A quiet sob escaped him. Morning arrived. Soft light filled the room. The woman opened her eyes again, stronger this time. "I dreamed," she said softly, "that we were a family." The groom smiled sadly. "We are outside the room." The bride watched from a distance, unseen, unheard. She saw the groom holding the baby, saw the boy lean against him. She understood now. She turned away quietly. Letting go inside the room, the groom made a decision. He called his lawyer, his voice steady. "I'm stepping away," he said. From everything, he looked at the children. At the woman, "I choose them," far away. His family felt the impact, their power shaken, but for the first time, the groom felt peace. Yet deep down, he knew one thing clearly. His family would not forgive this choice, and the real fight was only beginning. The morning air outside the hospital felt cold and sharp, like it was warning everyone that peace never lasts long. The groom stood near the window, watching cars move slowly below. His phone heavy in his hand, he had made the call. There was no turning back now. Inside the room, the woman slept calmly. Color slowly returning to her face, the newborn lay in a small hospital crib. Tiny chest, rising and falling, fighting quietly for life. The 11-year-old boy sat beside the crib, his eyes wide, watching every breath. The groom walked over, placed a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. "You did good," he said softly. The boy looked up, unsure how to answer praise. A nurse entered with papers. "The bills," she said carefully. "They are large." The groom nodded. "I know," he signed without reading. Money no longer scared him. Loss did. News traveled fast. By noon, his decision was known. Messages flooded his phone. Calls from business partners, from family friends, from people who once praised him. Now their voices were cold. One message stood out. From his father: "If you walk away, you are no longer my son." The groom stared at the screen, then slowly turned the phone off. The boy noticed. "Is everything bad now?" he asked quietly. The groom sat beside him. "Yes," he said honestly. "But bad does not mean wrong." The boy thought about that, then nodded. In the afternoon, 2 men in dark suits arrived. They stood outside the room, their eyes sharp, their voices low. "We represent your family," one said. "This situation is becoming public." The groom crossed his arms. "So," the man leaned closer, "there are contracts. Your name carries weight. You can still fix this." The groom looked past them, at the woman, at the children. "There is nothing to fix," he replied. The men exchanged looks. "You will lose everything," one warned. The groom opened the door wider. "Then leave." They left without another word. That night, the woman woke and saw his face. "They came," she said softly. "Yes," he answered. She closed her eyes. "I never wanted to break your world," he shook his head. "My world broke 11 years ago." The boy listened quietly from the corner, every word sinking deep into his heart. Later, the doctor returned with new news. "The baby needs special care, a longer stay." The groom nodded again. "We will manage." The doctor hesitated. "You should know. Your family called the hospital." Silence filled the room. They asked about custody. The boy stood up suddenly, fear flooding his face. "They can't take us," he cried. The groom moved fast, kneeling in front of him. "No one will take you," he said firmly. "Not again." The woman watched. Fear returned to her eyes that night. She could not sleep. She remembered being pushed out, pregnant, ignored, forgotten. She reached for his hand. "Promise me," she whispered. "If it becomes dangerous, you will protect them." He squeezed her hand. "I already am." Days passed. Tension grew. Reporters began waiting outside. Whispers spread online. The story changed in public. From wedding drama to family scandal, the groom's name became a headline. Inside the hospital, the boy avoided windows. "Are they angry with us?" he asked one night. The groom answered truthfully. "They are angry because they lost control." The boy nodded slowly. Learning a hard lesson early, the bride sent a message. Short, simple: "I respect your choice. Take care of them." The groom read it silently, then deleted it. It was over one evening. The groom returned from a meeting, his face serious. "I sold my shares," he told the woman. She stared at him. "What?" "It was the only way," he said. "They can't touch us now." Tears filled her eyes. "You gave up everything." He looked at the children. "No," he corrected. "I kept everything." The boy heard this, and for the first time, he smiled, but peace was short. Late that night, the hospital lights flickered. A nurse rushed in. "Security issue," she said. "Please stay inside." The groom moved to the door. Alert footsteps echoed in the hall. Fast, urgent, the boy hugged the baby tight. Fear returned full force. The woman whispered, "They won't stop." The groom's jaw tightened. "No," he said, "they won't." Outside, voices argued, and suddenly, a familiar voice cut through the noise, his father's voice. "This ends tonight." The groom's heart dropped. He stepped forward, ready to face whatever came next. Because this time, running was not an option. The hospital hallway felt colder than before. Lights flickered softly. Shadows moved along the walls. The groom stood in front of the room door, his body tense, his heart beating hard. Inside the room, the woman held the newborn close, her arms shaking, fear clear in her eyes. The 11-year-old boy stood beside her, his small body stiff, ready to protect. Even though he was just a child, the voice outside grew louder. "This ends tonight," the father repeated, his tone cold, final. The groom opened the door slowly. Stepping into the hallway, his father stood there, tall, proud. "Surrounded by security men, you are making a scene," the father said. "Come home." The groom did not move. "This is my home now," he replied. The father laughed softly. "Don't be foolish. You don't belong to this life." The groom looked him in the eyes. "I belong with my children." The word children changed everything. The father's face hardened. "You lost the right to speak that word." Inside the room, the boy listened, every word cutting deep. The woman whispered, "Please don't fight," but the fight had already begun. The father stepped closer, lowered his voice. "You think you can protect them?" "Yes," the groom answered without hesitation. The father turned to the guards. "Get the children," he ordered. The groom moved fast, blocking the doorway. "No one touches them," he said, his voice shaking, but strong. The guards hesitated, looking at each other. The father raised his hand, anger flashing in his eyes at that moment. Hospital security arrived. Doctors and nurses gathered. "This is a hospital," one guard said firmly. "You must leave." The father looked around, realizing too many eyes were watching. "This is not over," he warned, turning to the groom. "I know," the groom replied. The father left. His footsteps echoing down the hall. The danger did not disappear. It only waited inside the room. The woman broke down, tears flowing freely. "I was so scared," she cried. The groom sat beside her, holding her carefully. "I won't let them hurt you," he said. "Never again," the boy finally spoke, his voice small but clear. "Why do they hate us?" The groom looked at him. "They don't hate you," he said. "They hate losing control." The boy thought about that, then nodded slowly. That night, no one slept. The groom stayed awake, watching the door. Listening to every sound. Near dawn, the woman fell asleep. Exhaustion winning, the baby slept peacefully. Unaware of the war around him, the boy sat beside the groom, his head resting against his arm. "You're really staying," the boy said quietly. "Yes," the groom answered. "Even if they take everything?" "Yes." The boy closed his eyes, trust forming slowly. Morning came with bad news. A lawyer arrived, papers in hand, his face serious. "Your family filed an emergency case," he said. "They are asking for custody." The woman woke suddenly. Fear returning, the boy stood up fast. "They can't," he said. "They can't." The groom held up his hand. "They won't." He turned to the lawyer. "What do we do?" "We fight," the lawyer replied. Hours later, they moved to a safer room. Under guard, the groom signed more papers, each signature cutting ties with his past. Outside, news cameras waited. Inside, the woman looked at him. "You didn't have to do this," she said. "Yes," he replied softly. "I did, that afternoon." The boy asked a question he had held inside for years. "Why didn't you come before?" The groom closed his eyes. Pain filled his chest. "I was weak," he admitted. "I was afraid." The boy nodded slowly, then surprised him. "Don't be weak again," he said. The groom smiled sadly. "I won't," that evening. The father's message arrived. "You chose strangers over blood." The groom deleted it. Later that night, the woman woke again, her face calm now. "I don't want revenge," she said. "I just want peace." The groom held her hand. "We will build it outside." Rain started to fall, washing the city streets. Inside the room, a broken family tried to heal, but far away. The groom's father made another call. One final move, and this time, it would not be quiet. The hardest choice was still ahead. The courtroom was quiet, too quiet. The kind of silence that made hearts beat louder. Wooden benches filled slowly, strangers whispered, reporters waited. Cameras rested, like watching eyes. The groom sat at the front, wearing a simple suit, no power. No wealth behind him now. Beside him sat the woman. Still weak, but strong in spirit, the newborn slept in a small carrier. Peaceful, unaware of the danger around him. The 11-year-old boy sat close to the groom, his hands clenched together, his eyes moving from face to face. This place scared him more than hospitals. Across the room, the groom's father sat tall, surrounded by lawyers, his face calm, confident. He believed money always won. The judge entered. Everyone stood, then sat again. The case began. The father's lawyer spoke first. Clear, smooth words. They spoke of wealth, of stability, of what is best for the children. They painted the groom as weak, unstable, a man who gave up everything. The boy listened, his chest tightening. Then it was the groom's turn. He stood slowly. No speech prepared, only truth. I left once, he said calmly. And that was my greatest failure. The room shifted. I was afraid of losing comfort, so I lost my family. The father's face tightened. I am not rich anymore, the groom continued. But I am present. I am here. The judge watched carefully. The woman was asked to speak. She stood slowly, holding the table for balance. I never asked for help, she said softly. I only wanted my children safe. Her eyes moved to the father. You took him from me once, she said. But I raised his children with love. The room stayed silent. Then the judge looked at the boy. Do you want to speak? He asked gently. The boy froze. Fear returned. The groom knelt beside him. You don't have to, he whispered. The boy looked at the baby, then stood up. I carried my brother into a wedding, he said. Because I had no one else? Gasps filled the room. I don't want money, the boy continued. I want my mom alive and my dad to stay. Tears filled many eyes. The father shifted uncomfortably. The judge took a long breath, then spoke clearly. Children are not property. They are not rewards. They are lives. The decision came quickly. Full custody remains with the parents. The court denies all claims. The gavel struck. It was over. The boy's legs gave out. Relief crashing through him, the groom hugged him tightly. Tears finally falling, the woman closed her eyes, whispering thanks. Across the room, the father stood slowly, his power broken. He looked at the groom one last time. You chose weakness, he said coldly. The groom answered quietly. No, I chose love. Outside the courthouse, sunlight felt warmer. Reporters rushed forward. Questions shouted. The groom held up his hand. No interviews, he said. Today belongs to my family. They walked away together. That night, they stayed in a small rented apartment. Nothing fancy, just clean rooms and silence. The boy explored every corner, then asked quietly, Is this really our home? The groom smiled. Yes, the woman sat on the bed. Holding the baby, we survived, she said softly. The groom nodded, but surviving is not enough. Later, when the children slept, the groom sat alone, looking at old photos. He realized something painful. Winning in court did not erase the past. It only opened the door to healing. Outside, the city slept, but far away, in a quiet room. The groom's father stared at a phone. His pride wounded, his anger growing, he whispered to himself, This is not finished, and somewhere deep inside. The groom felt it too. The storm had passed. But the sky was not clear yet. One last truth still waited to come out. Asterisk, the small apartment was quiet that morning. Sunlight entered through thin curtains. Dust moved slowly in the air. It was not rich, not big, but it was safe. The groom stood in the kitchen, making simple breakfast, something he never did before. The woman watched from the doorway, holding the newborn close, her heart full but careful. The 11-year-old boy sat at the table, drawing quietly, something he had not done in years. For the first time, no one was afraid of footsteps outside. They were free, or so they thought. A knock came at the door. The boy froze. His hands stopped moving. The groom looked up slowly, his body tensed. I'll handle it, he said calmly. He opened the door. A man stood there, old, tired, his shoulders heavy. It was his father. But not the powerful man everyone feared. This man looked broken. "I came alone," the father said quietly. "No lawyers, no guards." The groom did not move aside. "Why are you here?" The father looked past him, saw the children, saw the woman, his voice cracked. "I lost everything." The groom said nothing. The father continued. "My partner's left. My name means nothing now." Silence filled the doorway. The woman stepped closer, her face calm but strong. "You took 11 years from us," she said. "What do you want now?" The father lowered his head. "I want to tell the truth," he whispered. The groom hesitated, then stepped aside. The father entered slowly, like a guest who knew he was not welcome. He sat down, his hands shaking. 11 years ago, he said, "I lied. Everyone looked at him. I told my son you left. I told him you did not want him." The woman's breath caught. Tears filled her eyes. "I sent you away," the father continued, "because I was afraid of losing control." The groom felt the ground shift under his feet. "You destroyed our lives," he said, his voice low. "Yes," the father admitted, "and I lived with that lie every day." The boy stood up slowly, his voice small. "But why?" The father looked at him, eyes full of shame. "Because I forgot what family means," he said. The newborn stirred softly. A small sound, breaking the heavy moment. The father looked at the baby, tears finally falling. "I came to ask for nothing," he said. "I just needed to say it." The groom walked closer, anger and pain fighting inside him. "You can't fix this," he said. "I know," the father replied, "but I can stop lying." He stood up slowly, moved toward the door, before leaving. He turned back one last time. "Take care of them," he said. "Better than I ever did." Then he left. And this time, he did not come back. The room stayed silent for a long time. The woman sat down slowly, her hands shaking. "So it wasn't my fault," she whispered. The groom knelt beside her. "No," he said gently. "Never was." The boy watched everything, then walked toward the groom. "You didn't leave us," the boy said. "They pushed you." The groom hugged him tightly. Tears falling freely now. "I still should have fought," he said. "But you are fighting now," the boy replied. That simple sentence changed everything. Weeks passed. Life became routine. The groom found simple work. Nothing fancy, but honest. The woman recovered fully, slowly gaining strength. The baby grew healthier every day. The boy returned to school. For the first time without fear, one evening, they sat together at a small table, eating simple food, laughing softly. The groom looked at them and understood something deep. This was success. Later that night, he placed something on the table. A small ring, not expensive, but honest. He looked at the woman. "I can't erase the past," he said, "but I want to walk the future with you." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "This time," she said softly, "no lies, no lies," he promised. She nodded and smiled. The boy watched, then clapped quietly. Months later, they visited a quiet park. The groom held the baby. The woman walked beside him. The boy ran ahead, a normal family built from broken pieces. The narrator's final words echo softly. Some families are born in joy, and some are born in pain. But the strongest families are born when the truth finally speaks. Final TWIST closing hook for audience. The boy looks back and asks, "Dad, if I didn't run into that wedding, would you have found us?" The groom stops walking, thinks, then answers honestly, "I don't know." He holds the boy's hand tighter. "But I'm glad you were brave." Final line. Sometimes a child saves the family. Asterisk.